Hello, I'm going on script. I haven't been able to really sleep because I was watching, as I'm always watching, Fox News, which I'm familiar with as investor, as growing up, being one of the main networks, enjoying as a child, teen. And in my addressing public policy, this is really called a clapback. No, I'm not about trouble. I'm a little bit off the script here, from my notes. Speaking to Fox public statement on the Laura Ingraham, the Alert night show. I tried to find the footage. It was recently, some days ago. It was just addressed about Biden and the border. Addressing Lankford, defending bipartisan border, Trump's attack on GOPs, saying that he is basically an idiot. He didn't say it, but that's what he's referring to. He's sloppy. I think he did use the word sloppy. I want to quote carefully. As a MAGA-right, they are bold with their words. Quickly, I'm addressing as the Democrat Party, a member, that GOPs can be unprofessional on both sides. We're humans, On script, he was saying that he was blaming me. He didn't say my name specifically, but he was referring to me and many other foreign and migrant leaders and immigrants. I was born in America, South Bend, Indiana, but I was adopted by Europe and the United Kingdom, voted as a people person, and voted in my UAE seat. Okay, the nations, Dominican Republican, Indians, the Brazilians, you name it, Trinidadians, everyone. I know a lot will say I probably have the audacity, right, in my clapback. But I'm going to speak because that was a slap in my face. He went on to say on her show, Laura Ingraham, a couple nights ago, that the U.S. border isn't like it is because we, the foreign leaders, have a public seat. And we're the cause of America not being what it used to be. Keep in mind that segregation went a very long time. How long did whites lead? How long did whites have control while my grandmother and great-grandmother and great-great-grandmother and ancestors and so on and so forth sprayed with water, segregated to 70s? Okay, I'm going to go to the 70s era. Yes, change was being made. It's still not fair today. Bipartisan, reparation. All of this stuff that we voted for, you know what they did to us, America? What they did to us was silence us. They said, okay, hush, hush, little baby. We're going to give you guys what you want. Some meant it in the GOP, some didn't, because they still exist today. Supremacy. Hanging a culture still exists right now. And you telling me that I am one of the ones, why the reason that migration is here, while they're saying that they're here for me? Well, no. Because there was many good leaders before me. Who is the one to blame? MAGA rights have not a clue as to what they say half the time. I'm going to go on record as to say maybe not even all MAGA rights, just the idiots. The ones that are very ignorant. Some MAGA rights, although they stand for the wrong thing. Some MAGA rights are, I would say the old school ones, maybe some. Few in number, know how to play the game. I'll leave it like that. Okay? My podcast has already been hit in numerous ways. I'm addressing this recent statement because it's an insult. And of course the MAGA rights don't care. I mean, woo-hoo-hoo to them. They're probably laughing and cracking up and got the violin playing in the back of their head, as I speak. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay is that you still want an all-white America. What I'm not okay is when you get to make these disrespectful comments and post it on not only the social media going live from major networks. See, I love my Roland Martin, okay? When I say my, let's be careful with that, because don't bring no drama my way. Because I'm not what you want. I'm going to keep it professional. It is not my fault. See, my seat is empty because it's beyond my control. My seat is empty because of gatekeepers and corrupt government. How about that? How about I was dang near a young woman, a kid coming up in this game. And yes, I went to school for politics, okay? I came on the professional side. I came in politics being legit. How about that? How about I prayed because I stepped forward from a vision, not because I wanted to. Not so much as because of music and I'm creating this theatrical theater that I was doing. It wasn't all about that. I saw a bigger picture just like the rest of you, right? So I came and stood with the rest of you, right? But you say we who are adapted basically and who are foreign leaders, mixed leaders, blacks, culture, are the reason why this world is the way it is. And Biden basically is the puppet under our hand. That is so disrespectful and unfair. Because we can say the same about pudding, fruity, nutty, pudding, whatever his name is. We can say that about Ukraine. Since y'all got all these disrespectful jokes for us. How about that? And I never really say anything, but I had enough. Because what happens is you're going to affect my political seat moving forward. But see, what you can't do is what God won't allow you to do. That's why I love who God is. That's why I love being who I am in God. See, I'm not perfect and I didn't profess to have it all together, no. But neither are you. You MAGArites are half human. And most of you now are cloned. Cloning Disney, putting chips in people's head. All this sick, twisted AI crap. Cults, gatekeepers, gatekeeping. Underworld bunkers. Housing and hiding our children and allowing documentaries to be released on these sick, twisted topics. Are you freaking kidding me? See, I can go all day long speaking my truth. I'm not going to be one of the black women, the culture women up there talking about politics, talking about, oh, it's all because of the root causes. Hear me roar on my podcast. And I will be making it live. Hear me roar. You ain't got to be scared, but what you got to be scared of is the God in me. Because heaven don't sleep. You're the ones unprofessional. White this, Caucasian that, supremacy this, we want an all-white America. But you're going to tell me that I got the audacity to use the word white. You're going to try to slam racism my way. You're going to try to throw sloppiness on my table, my seat that I sit once at the council. You won't even let Africa and those other great type of countries come in. You just want them to sit in there and give y'all a vote. How disrespectful is that? The way you treat countries. You steal from them. Hey, first of all, I don't even mean to say what I'm going to say, but we all know the truth about the books that y'all didn't hid. America was found on straight up theft. But yeah, you got an audacity to have a law to lock somebody up from stealing. Need I say more? So, yeah, it is kind of me biting the hand that feed me. That kind of concept. But I have to say it because I haven't even been able to sleep. That he came on Fox News and said that about all of us leaders. Oh, he made sure he included every last one of us. Whether they died on, whether they're currently here, or whether they're on their way in there. In this coming election. Culture is why America exists. I'm sorry to all the supremacists. I'm sorry to the white people who think they perfect. To the Stanford wives that really exist out here. I'm so sorry. Okay? There is no freaking such thing as perfection. If we were going to be perfect, God said we would be. What he said was with him in his walking upright with his spirit. He said, you are not of your own. This is King James biblical text. We're supposed to be a united nation, but we are so divided. And you want to blame culture? You want to blame me? He was talking about me. They're always talking about me. They always slam me. And I don't say anything because they don't use my picture. They don't use my name. Because God forbid somebody up in there that's contaminating my seat is probably speaking. That's the power of intelligence, is it not? That you don't have to use a picture or say my name, but because I know I'm counted in that number, I know I can speak. See, I like to speak and use wisdom because it's more sexy and intelligent that way. It's attractive. And it's unprofessional and unattractive to be maggorized when we speak ignorant. You believe, you fly, you float, you vote the way that you want to do what you do. But when you start stepping on people, speaking against people, that's where the real fight comes out. See, and that ain't the kind of fight I've liked to be a part of. I didn't like it in school. I don't like it when I'm into the corporate world. I don't like it out in the streets. We call that bullying. Biden's not perfect. Biden has issues. We all do. I know Biden. I met him and his family. And I've lost a heck of a lot of time. Back on script. Dishonored in your own country, God told us we would be in the biblical text, and that's been proven. I mean, that's why I'm talking. Need I say more? I'm looking forward to seeing what God is getting ready to do for us leaders. Because, see, I can't keep wasting my time on this podcast talking to these fools. God, we have to chase after God's heart. It's time for me to talk. Yeshua is the ruler of this world. But this world is in shambles because we deny the power of God. And I've got to fix my notes. God blesses us. And he blesses those who bless him. Most of the MAGArites and most of us out here off the script from politics, we're brainwashed. And I say we because I'm talking about human beings, humanity. And not because you're a foreigner or a culture, immigrant and making things sloppy. Because, oh my God, the United States of America was founded on sloppiness, on betrayal. I look for Yeshua to help balance us out, to help solve every single challenge. See, standing for something will help less mental problems. It will help less misery. It will be less crime. It will be less hate. There will be less imperfection. Okay? Because you're walking in righteousness. God comes with a cool and calming spirit. And he solves problems. See, sure as there's something evil, there's something real. Sure as there's something wrong, there's something right. With God, there's less imperfection. There's less procrastination. There's less ignorance. There's less negativity. There's less darkness. Okay? And in my psychology studies, it taught me the consciousness of black. The darkness, what it represented. Okay? It's an evil entity. It's a void. It's emptiness. It's a spiritual awakening. It's a message. So you got different messages. There's a message in the clouds. Okay? And in this podcast, this is an awakening. Okay? A heavy message to all of the allies who have accepted these other spiritual darkness that I'm talking about. That's corruption. See, what you have allowed yourself to do is become dark. I'm not going to expound on that too much because I ain't trying to catch lawsuits and my podcast shut off. Because everybody already hitting it enough. That's a perpetrator. That's corrupt. That's just evil. the imperial corruption, okay, higher up. We got to get it together and see God. That darkness, that shadow, that you got way too much power and money to have it your way. You got to take a step back, I ask. You got people and countries and corporations and trades, ledgers, mergers, all that kind of stuff. Tribal families, tribal businesses. A lot is on the table and on the plate of a tribal leader, of culture. I'm not talking about whites. I'm not talking about Caucasians. I'm not talking about the United States of America. I'm talking about culture, and I'm talking to culture. The very ones that the MAGA rights degraded, and they're over there saying that because of us, because, United States let higher up foreigners come over or any immigrant in the office sit at the seat, it's a mess. And until they get rid of us, basically all white America, then it'll go back to being what it was. What was it? It started off psychotic. You got human beings in chains. Are you kidding me? You're hanging and burning people on trees and cutting them open and letting dogs eat them and bite them. You're sacrificing babies. But we sloppy. Jesus Christ, Nita. And look at all the footage that's out there. Look at all the hidden text. Look at all the gold in the jury. And then you went and put a crown on white folks and said they're the king of the whole wide world. They're the queen of the whole wide world. Well, I beg to differ, because the Bible described kings and queens being people that were dark in color. Now, I'm going on record for that. You hit my podcast, I'm going to come and hit what you got. Sick of this mess. Try me. Try me. See, white America, y'all mental health is ridiculous. You want to say we worse? All white America, as soon as Biden took office, somebody, I thank God for this, hiding an audio and got y'all butts. Got evidence. And I'm praying what to do with that. Because it's unacceptable and it's uncalled for. I was born in America. I can't help where I was born. I thought this was supposed to be the land of the great. I have a lot of questions about that. But yeah, you still show up in your suit, in your tux, being a gatekeeper, having a witchcraft spirit, sharing it all over the place in the atmosphere. Spirit so heavy, tension so high, disrespect, fighting all in the Capitol, acting crazy. But then y'all want to go arrest and shoot up gang members. You know why I'm okay with gang members? Because they keep it real. They have a real story. They have a real background. I don't condone doing wrong, no. But what did the MAGA rights do? Something about them Ku Klux Klans. Something about them Proud Boys. Need I say more? I'm going to go ahead and leave that alone. No, I'm not. I'm going to talk about it some more. You want to put Trump in office. He murdered people. These people every year have to celebrate their dead loved ones. But you up here endorsing them. Come on, culture. You endorsed him. You endorsed him. Oh, okay. See, y'all don't want me up there because you know how bold I am. You know I don't play. Y'all know my moves. Congress, you know my moves. You know who I am. You've been watching Inside the House. You watch me. You watch me praying. You know that the spirits, when you sing your cult Illuminati people up in here, you know that they can't win. You've tortured me. You've stolen from me. You've beaten me. Whatever's happened to me, the whites have been involved. Oh, yeah. Blacks have been involved. Oh, yeah. Known and unknown. Oh, yeah. Right here in America. That's supposed to be so safe. Well, as big as I am, as culture, as a member of the UAE, the UN, the NATOs, all that money I invested, all my political seat, consular embassy, and I don't have a single person that I can say protected me. Not one. You know who I give thanks and honor to? God. And those who did come through and rescue and fight for me, they small in number. The real glory goes to God. I thank all my supporter, allies, and loved ones. I thank some of my enemies who reconsidered and maybe helped a little bit. Whomever they are. See, I'm still trying to figure all this out. But I left it to God because it's exhausting. America, I love this place, but I'm sickened in my stomach. That's the main reason why I went overseas. First of all, I'm not entitled to anything. America is entitled to culture. You best believe it. All this reparation, we're going to give 13 million and 1 billion and 1.5 million to each and every black family and have not received it. While all the supremacy stand pointing their fingers, ah, nana, nana, boo, boo, look at them. Black, nasty niggers. Oh, we're going to lock them up as soon as we hear somebody say nigger or nigger, nagra. Really? White boys get off so easy. Yes, a whole bunch of them on lockdown, but it's more a culture locked in there than in white boys. A lot of it's a lot I can't say on this podcast because children may listen one day. But a lot of supremacy, you know what your issue have been with culture. First of all, I'm going to go to the men part. There is great jealousy among the black man and the white man for a whole bunch of different reasons. And so many people out there in these blogs and journalists and editors at large, you know what? They've covered those issues. I suggest and refer you to go look at them. To go to, a lot of the libraries might lie. So I ask that you seek culture to find culture's real information, to unravel, to find the real truth, to uncover it. Take the veil off, okay? I'm amazed that I'm already 21 minutes in my podcast. It's almost time for me to turn it off. My goodness. But I tell you, I asked God to help me speak. And some of the stuff on my notes I don't even have. I've not even said it. And maybe God doesn't want me to, But I was super offended. And I want everybody that's graduating out of school of taking politics. Don't be afraid of what was said on Fox News a couple nights ago. On the Alert segment with Laura Ingraham. I forget who it was she was talking. But I know it was a MAGA rights. I'm not going to even... you can just go do the research and you'll probably find who I was talking about. But, yeah, he made that statement. And I think it's been about 3 days. So I think that's when the show was. And it was so disturbing to even... I sat there so long before I moved. I think it was some hours. I just wanted to shop. But then again, it's MAGA rights. They keep us in shop. I'm not so proud of the GOP as far as Democrats. I'm not so proud of things that's been happening. Okay? Just quickly speaking about this nation is the way it is because all the way in the book of Samuel, okay, when they wanted a king, they denounced God and wanted man to lead. And God had proven that he was God. What can a man do for you that I can't do? So he gave the people what they wanted. It's like a good woman or a good man. You're not satisfied until you get something that's corrupt. And good was under you the whole time, but some reason you just keep going over there and fighting the good and know he good and better for you. And you mistreat him or her just to find out that he or she was what you really needed all along. That's who God is. We need to speak. We need to believe. We need to pray. Because I'm going back to my Tink Winter Diary days. Those who followed the Tink Winter Diary albums and journals and the Wattpad when it came out. Creating my books and magazines as editor and creating my theater, my digital catalog that I redesigned the music business as Sony Sonia. Okay, trademark, copyright names, and hit with ID theft and conspiracies that have been proven. Okay, with government conspiracy, because I was a princess in America and they were jealous. These white girls, these white women, these white old women are jealous. Same with these white men, white boys. The prince come in town. Boy, they want to send somebody running, honey. Well, we just got to get to where we're going to appreciate one another. And the problem is, at times it tends to be an ego game. You know, I'm this, I sit on this level, I hold this power. Who cares? The only power you better be holding is some more Jesus. A little more Jesus, a lot more Jesus. That's what we should be holding on to. Integrity, dignity, standing for something. Our imperial corruption, this conspiracy, okay? We have to leave it at no choice but to recognize there is an issue. See, it's like when you know that there is, first of all, you have to recognize that there's a habit is what I'm saying. Then you got to go address it. Then it comes for that intervention, okay? It's not just a theory, that's a fact, okay? And I believe that over time, that will lessen the scandals. And there will be more reforms and stuff that will become, solved. As you put God in front, God will do it. See, God doesn't need our help. He doesn't need us. We just need to step back and do what it is we need to do and stop leaning into our own understanding. Okay? God saved me. He continues to save me and restore me and heal and teach and show and guide and protect us. He'll do the same for you. Okay? God's grace is upon me, it's upon you. Keep believing and keep the faith. Let's continue to do devotional affirmations, be confident, meditate, be peaceful, go in peaceful atmospheres, have peaceful and respectful, honorary conversations. Hold a mindset that has dignity and integrity. When you speak, no one's perfect. We have flaws and all. Your thoughts at peace. Keep on beating the right beat. That's your heart. That's common sense. That's respect. That's being empowered. Okay, that's a movement. A little bit on and off script there. On script, saying as I clap back to Fox Public News, now I'm addressing the MAGA rights when they were talking about Lankford, because I've been talking about that this whole time. Lankford defending bipartisan border, security bill that attacks Trump, the GOP's, which I call it the goober, gobbling goon, who you apparently can't seem to leave alone. He's got things and people, he says he can move things with his mind. That's witchcraft. That's insane. And you guys support that. That's unprofessional. It's dangerous. It's bad manner. It's bad behavior. It's unheard of. He's been impeached for a reason, for many reasons. Spiritually, he's a bad fruit playing church. You attack the president, which is Biden. In a lot of ways, if we look at the religion side of it, nobody's a victim. But it is unfair that Biden is being attacked the way he is with this curtain tail humanitarian parole power that they're siding against him with, saying that he don't got power. I don't know really what's going on with Biden. It looks like he got some issues, and I won't really speak on that. I want to respect my party. I want to respect both parties. This was an article that I spoke about was by Amy Wang, and she shared that on Fox Network. The night show of Laura Ingraham, the Angle Alert. Okay, and they were exposing the dark side of the border deal. Y'all can go and look and see what that's about. I'm not going to waste my time talking about that. Although I do hold it important in my heart and in my spirit. And I pray about it. But how can I as a leader come and speak about it and you want to hear? How come she's not speaking? How come the leader is not speaking? How come you want an all-white America? That's your answer. So, going on with that. What works with this country? This country, you have the audacity to say that you don't want us here and that it's sloppy. Well, this country was built on the backs of my ancestors. Some of your ancestors that are white and supremacists. Yes. Even though they was low down and evil, they did work together, some of them. Some of them did. The forefathers, like I said, some of them were your ancestors as well too. The islanders, immigrants migrating. This language that we speak about the immigrants, okay? I do agree on the wall being up because of drug trafficking. I was a part of trafficking as far as being victimized. Doesn't feel good having drugs stuffed in you. It doesn't feel good being raped, or should I say raped. It doesn't feel good being played and a victim of hostile takeover and hit and beaten and jumped. It doesn't feel good. I get it. So to the MAGA rights, no, I don't support the borders just being open. I've said that so many doggone times. I've said that so many times. I don't agree with that border wall being up. I've said that so many times. I want that wall to be up because of trafficking, because of drug smuggling, because of the gang violence, because of cult and sacrificing of children and women. Yes, I want the border up. This asylum. I don't even like using that word. What is that? Why does supremacy and whites come up with doggone words that just insult the culture? Why is that? Unnecessary. So I call it hateration. MAGA right haters hating. Gatekeepers keeping. I want to highlight fairness. I really want to be talking about solutions. That's what I really want to be talking about. That's what I'm going to talk about on part 2 of this podcast because my time is up. I was only supposed to do 30 minutes. I'm at 31. I'm almost at 32 minutes. I'm going to go a little longer. I want to talk about fair reforms, okay? Because I got a headache. I swear to God, I got a headache. I'm so annoyed. You know, it's winter. And we're all locked in and trying to survive COVID while people are still dying. Migrants are dying and being froze to death. Homeless before the migrants came this last time was they always been here. Yes, it's insane, out of control. I thank those who are here for me. I haven't heard why you're here for me. I want to hear from the immigrants. I want to hear from the migrants migrating. I don't want to hear from a perpetrator. I want to hear them say it out of their mouth. And prayers for those who have losses when they got over here in the country, trying to look for me and get to me. I pray for you all the time. You know, if the MAGA rights was, the MAGA rights can't take migration because I told you what it was. You know, they like to come up with all kind of stuff. I asked the MAGA rights, if that were you in their shoes, how would you handle it? What would you do? Would you run? Would you stay and be sacrificed? Would you stay in misery and starve to death? How would you handle that? I want to answer. I want to hear from them. Since they got it all together. Come on, Fox News. Come on, Laura Ingraham. Y'all come on, give me an answer over there. I want Roland Martin to cover this too. Well, he always covers some good stuff. MAGA rights, already you running from this conversation. Already you sweating. Already you probably done passed out, screaming, cussing, acting nuts, and demon-possessed and out of control. Because y'all full of demons. Already this conversation is way too much for you. You probably got a migraine listening. I know your answer already, what that would be. But come to my surprise, some of you, MAGA rights, may have a change of heart and God may convert you over. You never know. You may be transformed or renewed. Because when God want to do something, guess what, MAGA rights? That's what he going to do. God want us leaders up there. Hello. First of all, Jesus is a foreigner. In a foreign place. But y'all went and painted Jesus white. He didn't say he was white. Now everybody arguing over what color Jesus is. And you've been doing that way before I was born. Way before my mother was born. Before her mother was born. Jesus started being all kind of different colors. Now he's rainbow. Now apparently he's LGBT. I don't even want to go there with that one. To each his own. Let me say that. Stand with Queen. I gotta sign off. Don't stop praying. Okay? Don't lose hope. I've learned to and understand what hurt pain is. I understand that you will not be received and accepted in your own. I'm going through that right now. I've been going through that. Over 15 years, not helped, ignored, neglected, abandoned by the government. I even questioned my foreign. But I believe that people maybe did come looking for me and I was hid. I'm dealing with all of that. God's dealing with that as well. I'll catch y'all on part 2. I got to get recharged and come back. I'm 30 minutes in my show. Thank you for listening. I'm going to come back. I'm still on the clap back segment at Fox News, and this is my public policy, and I'm responding. This is my clap back, my continuing part 2, continuation of Fox News, of foreigners, where we're making this nation what it is, and it'll never be the same again. That's some bull. I'm signing off right now. Come and check me out for part 2. I don't exactly know where I left off on the other clapback. I know it's been some days. It's been real rough for me. Just feeling like, so I can feel my blessings and just asking God, when are they coming to me? And one thing that a wise woman wants to study to do, and even if you're a male or a man or a young person listening, in whatever industry you're in, even if you're just strolling as a vlogger or a blogger, or you just love podcasts and decided to click on my podcast and to listen, I thank you again for doing that. But I want to express my gratitude that in this season, a lot is going on. A lot is in the air. Changes in age. Feeling like you've mastered and done so much. Trying to find continuing education. That's where I am now in my status. And I love podcasting because it's actually a therapeutic couch without the therapist. But ask God to open up my mind, my soul, in this podcast, Lord God. Give me what to say. Give me how to speak, what not to say in the season, and to speak carefully. To inspire myself, to inspire my children, to inspire my grandbabies, and to inspire those that will come to listen and hear the podcast at a later time. I want you guys to know that all things is possible. All things work through Christ. Prayer is everything. Meditation is everything. But be careful what you answer to, or you can end up like the gatekeepers. I am not perfect. I've not lived a perfect life, but I have not been what they say I am. Okay? That's real. I am not what they say I am. I have not done all the things they said I've done. A lot of that stuff was staged and planning. And it is what it is. And through flaws and all, we live and we learn. Yes, we have regrets. Yes, we have wants and desires. This is the Chantel Hart Show, Blog Radio. It's also a Nice Diplomacy Alliance podcast. Over on all social media. Forgive me if you come across social medias that I am not yet on. I am working on distribution. I'm working on a lot of things I haven't been able to do over the years, but that has been done. And I've been told that it's been done by sources, and I'm thankful for that. And I thank everybody for pouring into me and for helping and for speaking out on my behalf, representing me. But I tell you, I don't know what's been getting in the way besides nothing else. The gatekeepers, witchcraft. So I'm praying against that. In the last video, I talked about American policy as far as clapbacking. Last podcast, I talked about clapback at Fox News. This is a political drama on a late night political show, Fox News, where the Republican came on and blamed we, the Democrats and diplomats, leaders who are higher up, that the world is in such a distraught and chaos because of us, the leaders. People who don't hold seats. People who you don't see. People whose office is empty. Well, my office is empty because I suffer memory loss. No one can be me. They can try to be me, and that's a failure. They can copy and watch in the house. They've done that. Stolen documents. Go reap success off of my work, off of my credits, off of my credential. Contacting the people of my contacts. And I'm so happy that people out there have taken a stand with that. And I pray that they're alive. I pray that they're in their right mind. I pray that they recover if they've been attacked. I pray for safety for their families and those connected to them. This is very dangerous. This is very surreal. This is very real. Entertainment, corporate America, government policy, that government world stage seems glitz and glamour. But it's not what all that it seems to be. Yes, the grass can't really be greener on the other side because money can key you anything. Money can take you anywhere. But when you involve magic is what I'm talking about. When you involve magicians, sorcerers, witches, and you're protected by your magic, and you laugh and you celebrate, and you're different, and you have jet black eyes where you've transformed and you shape shift. You're no longer human. You're no longer what you used to be, and you know it. But yet you can't do anything about it. You can't control it because your mind is of another world. You're controlled by another entity. And it's evil. Dark portals of hell guide you. It controls you. And you can only be human temporarily. You can only feel temporarily. You can only do the right thing temporarily. That's sad. So what do we do about that? See, I'm not just talking about the music business as a record exec being missing out of my office and my offices have dust on them. And people are stealing out of those boxes from that desk. People are stealing from me. They've not come and asked for permission. In corporate America, they steal from me. In the SEC exchange, Wall Street, TD Ameritrade, trades, mergers, stocks, bonds. And I'm told constantly, you don't have anything. I beg to differ. I bet you I do. Because I'm not going to stop until every last one of them are down. Because they would only do the same in return if it were me that done that to them. So join my alliance. My alliance is not just me sitting in the house for 5 years. My alliance is God, who's been moving, who's been manifesting. Declaration in the kingdom dominion against their magic, against the gatekeepers. And as we listen to the podcast, God, I continue that those who believe in praying with me, who pray around the clock as believers, as Christians, you arrest the enemy in the spirit and physically. All who celebrate, you see out there, they're not getting away with it. See, because your magic gonna run out. Your abuse gonna run out. Your lies gonna run out. Your time is going to run out. And that's what we wait for God's vengeance and manifestation for. Daily. Because it's gonna happen. And whether you're around to see it or not, just know in your heart and believe before you leave this world that God got your back. For the justice for those people that they've hurt. They got too much dirt and blood on their hands. And God promises us that we'll never get away with those kind of things. And I'm thanking Yeshua, who is invited in my life. Who's invited to my children. Who's invited to the future endeavors and incentives. And things that will come that will be prosperous. And Lord God, I'm thanking you for giving me life. I repent before the heavens, as I suggest that you all listening will do. Because no matter how hard they hit this podcast, no matter how hard they hit my social media, I'm going to still talk. I'm going to still pray. I'm going to still reach out, arms reach, and my arms stretch very far. Because God gives me that authority. See, I can't take this credit because of God's grace. I can't take Yeshua's authority, and I don't want to. I don't want to take the credit. I don't want to, because God is much too good and big for that. Heaven never sleeps. So we are all watched. There is no such thing as secrecy, but only in God. Ain't that a tripped out thing? What knowledge can unfold and show you. There is no secrecy. And yes, they may be for temporarily on the earth from person to person. But, sometimes tripped out when you think you got that privacy. There was a camera right there. Nobody knew. So think about God's secrecy. So getting back to the political clapback. I covered on my social media today about Roland Martin when he talked about a guy named Eric Kinnick with overthrowing governments. I'm clapping back not only at Fox News foolishness, and it's not the network, okay? It's the people who come on there. It's like saying it's not the guns that kill people. It's the stupid person that's holding the gun. See, there's two reasons why you do use gunfire. To save yourself, or people just get gun happy. Okay? So this is my fire to clap back. It is not the immigration's fault. It is not the migrants' fault. It is not we who were born in America who happens to have a foreign background fault. And I'm sick of hearing it. Now Trump is with the Colorado court hearing, which I wasn't going to say anything. I wasn't going to say anything. But I'm only saying something because it's annoying. I'm only saying something because it won't end. I'm only saying something because Trump, the dictator, not the great candidate. Trump, the dictator, should I say. Because you dug death for people and they are in it. And you have the audacity to get up there and try to run again. How did Harris even get there? Now, let me tell you something. I'm not a bitter black woman who's stuck in a trance. No, I'm an angry black woman who's stuck muscled in corners. But see, I had to stay there because of God. God won't even let certain things happen when I try to go on my own. See, I've done some footwork on my own to try to solve my own cases. I've traveled. I've gotten in a car. And when I got there, it wasn't what I needed it to be. I saw some things that broke my heart. I saw some things that wowed me. All I saw was partying and wasting of my money. Sources that got back to me when these people think that they live in the best life, wasting my money, abandoning, neglecting my children. And then when my children get older, they got the same story that God showed me in visions and dreams. Now this is their testimony that these things that I saw and sensed and felt as a mother was accurate. Let me tell you something. I'm trying to tell you, God don't sleep. You better stop sleeping on heaven. Now, you can do what you want and you can ignore it. And this may not be important. But, oh, behold, karma is coming. Oh, behold, what's going to happen is going to happen. Oh, behold, authorization is out there and it is in movement. So to my Republicans, you can laugh. All of y'all acting like these gatekeepers. All of you are gatekeepers. It doesn't matter what industries you in. It is sad that in slavery days, Emancipation Proclamation, chains of culture, overthrowing governments, taking territories, taking land, taking women and children, separating families. As my forefathers and ancestors, mama's mama and them, breastfed your children and raised them up. And you had the audacity for these little bastards to grow up as a child and look their elder, whether they were some niggers in your eyesight, and say, it's Mr. to you. And that child wasn't even old enough to still barely wipe his own handpars, cook his own food. And you're going to tell him that she's a mammy. It's Mr., it's sir to you. It's Mrs., it's ma'am to you. This little girl ain't even started her menstrual yet. This little girl had her puberty haven't even kicked in. But you talking to an old woman and you beating on the old woman and you slapping her around. Well, they still do that today. Nothing's changed. And it's sickening in my stomach that the very men who stand there. Now let me tell you something. I've used the word nigger a countless amount of times. And people say, you hear what she just confessed in her podcast? Let me tell you what I mean by that. My grandfather, when he was alive, he said, Chantel, which a lot of you know me as Sonia, boss lady. And that's doing business as. And fake marriages as business movements, because I was forced to do that through gang violence, through family gangs, because of obsession and incest and molestation, through a grown man ruining a child's life. So see, I'm an advocate on so many levels, not just because, according to a judge when I was recently locked up in the Janesville County Jail, I saw her work. She's got a big mouth. I don't like what I saw. All it did was bring me to tears, but I was so cotton picking strong, I couldn't cry. I was so cotton picking strong, I just wanted to go up there and strangle his neck with my bare hands. I wanted to George Floyd him in the neck. To tell me in my face why I'm in handcuffs for no reason. Because gatekeepers came after me and getting me locked up. Using my money. Using my contracts. Using my accounts. On my stocks and bonds. Using my name. Reincorporating my DUNS and EIN numbers with IRS corruption and conspiracy. Man, I can go on and on. And this has been 30 years. This has been the last 15, 16, 17 years. Even though you've seen me during these numbers that I'm throwing out there working. No. I've still been, they dress me nice. They dress their victims up nice. Like Cassie. Oh, she dressed nice. Chick came and got my clothes. Chick came and learned things from me, begged for my help. I'm talking about I'm all up and through this. And I wouldn't be surprised if some pictures out there with me standing up there next to these gatekeepers. These sick MAGA rights are working my freaking nerve. The disrespect that they have to say. The jealousy, the intimidation, because that's all it is. What nigger got the right to stand up here on our platform in all white America, on our all white stage, on our all white territory? That's why you got all these Karens go back to where you came from. Oh yeah, we rule. We're whites. Whites rule. Like I want to burst out crying right now because it's foolishness. What about the land of the free? What happened to that? No, we're only free while you piss on us. We're only free while you steal from us. We're only free while you manipulate and rape us. And not just a woman thing. Men, you tearing these men up. They can't even be husbands. They can't even be fathers. They can't even be big brothers. They can't even be a guardian. They can't even be a helper one to another because you got them messed up for $1. You got them messed up. And they so sissified to celebrityism. If that's even a word. To stay relevant. I'm embarrassed. I care about what people think of me. My life is ruined. My everything is ruined. But I gave that to God. Because what I got coming is so big and strong. Because what God has showed me. Everything ain't meant to be said. No, I won't always say everything on podcasts. Everybody ain't going to believe what I got to say. Everybody ain't going to care. And vice versa, in return to, whatever they got going over there. I don't care. But I have a heart to say this. I have a heart to say, I care about those who care about me. I have a heart to say, I care that God's salvation find these idiots. Because we once all was some clouded mind idiots. Leaning into our own understanding. Thinking that the books was the only way to go. Although the Bible is a biblical text, it's a book. But it's a mighty book. And it's not magical. It's greater than magic. Can't even compare the anointing to no magic. Because a lot of times people see God's edified. His edification, his miracles, and they compare it to magic. It's not magic. It's greater. It has nothing to do with magic. But it is called miracles. And that's what I live for. I live for God's love, his favor is the word I'm looking for. America talks about faith nation. That faith nation ain't nothing but white supremacies. That faith nation ain't nothing. Oh my God. And I'm so happy I'm saying that. Joel Osteen granted my father a mega church, right? So I'm angry with my father because he didn't take it when we were in Texas. In Texas, we were doing okay. Jay Prince got us out there. He talked to my daughter, got us out there. I'm thinking all this stuff is God's movement. You know, everything that looked like a blessing is not a blessing. No matter what industry you in. Don't matter who it is, it's what looked like ain't. I end up being hit, knocked down, sloppy sex, sloppy relationship, played pimp, just so this man can take everything that I owned. Well, not everything because it was split. I got so much out there, so many holdings that I accumulated because of this hostile takeover, this theft. See, I have to talk about these things because I'm my alliance it's all about my alliance to save lives and to restore lives. I'm a warrior in my own right. I'm a survivor. I don't know who all hates me. I don't care. I don't know who's all after me. I don't care. I have people that I have to survive for, and that's my children. That's myself. Every breath in my body has a meaning. It has a date that is going to accumulate and turn into some great endeavor, some great journey, some great quest, some great project, some great, just goes on and on and on with, it's going to be so many great outcomes on so many different levels. Seeing God is overwhelming rain. Not rain like water pouring out of the sky, but rain as in constant pouring down of some goodness and greatness on you. Joel Osteen's church was a shootout. Me and my daughter was looking at it last night. I don't exactly know if that was when it actually happened. I want to say it happened this past Sunday. But, or it could have been Bible study. You have to go check out the Joel Osteen shooting or shootout. I guess it's worded like that on social media. But I'm going to go and replay it because I think I listened to it 2 times. I'm going to go and study it a little bit more because, see, I didn't have time to study the people because I had to charge my phone. But it's sad that over the years, I would say over about the last, let's see, my baby is 15. I would say, if I'm right, maybe about that. I would say maybe a little less. That I've noticed, maybe about 11 years. 12. That people that I noticed that they've been hijacking pastors. Now, they've been doing it forever now. Come on. But I'm just saying that it's really had a takeoff. That has really had a takeoff in the numbers increasing. Yes, it's been because people are suffering out their jobs and overthrown governments and migrants coming in, and homelessness. And I'll go on the record and say background battery charges, catching offenses through court system, criminal systems is what I'm trying to say. People snap. And then they can't take anymore. This is why I love podcasting, because you get to just vent. I've always loved radio. I used to listen to it growing up. And I said, one day that's going to be me. I'm going to have a radio. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about, but I'm just going to be talking. And then I got my education. And everything I do, I'm educated and certified in. Because knowledge is power. Power is the key. It takes us many places. See, you probably thought I was going to say somewhere. Joel Osteen's shooting was devastated. Now, it wasn't Joel Osteen that I know of. But being a supremacist, y'all, these are demons. And I don't want to say it because this guy was so good to me. I can't say I really personally know Joel Osteen. I can't say that. But when I reach out to that pastor, he is the only one that helped me and my father. And I will go on record to say I think the man will help us again. But my father declined and turned it down because look at all the false prophets. Look at all these pastors. Look at all what they're made to do under these contracts. You can't mention God in film. You can't mention it in certain production. You can't mention it in corporate America. You can't pray in schools. Now we got school shootings. My Lord, we are in the book of Eli. Well, that's actually a movie that Denzel Washington did. But I've always told my mother I had a feeling that that will one day be our world. And guess what? That's what it's turning into. You go look at Disney World. You go look at these companies and corporations that are looting. They're turning it into the Denzel film, The Book of Eli, as well as Will Smith, iRobots. And they were telling us that this is coming. You look out here, you still got these logic and intelligence who got so much failure. You cannot erase humankind. And yes, America has been doing that. And it come from where? MAGA rights. It come from where? Supremacy. Where? White America. Where? White stage. Where? United States of America mostly. And then their connection with Britain and I don't know if it's Turkey, maybe Russia, I know. Australia. You know, I don't know if Africa is involved. I don't know. But I know that those are mostly the alleged countries that have been listed, that I've read, that have welcomed this foolishness. And although AI technology, you know, I'm in that deeply, you know, partner and work with doggone Bill Gates. Created and founded WS Technologies that was taken by members of some ex-in-laws that stole it and took over, and I had to report it and snatch it back and expose these idiots. Technology is a great thing, but it's going to be dangerous. We got to fight back with that, with everything in us. Claim your identity. Americans in the South, I found out living in, I believe it was Tennessee, Humboldt, that a person who died, she's deceased, cut some years now. Oh, I think she's been dead now about, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years now. Maybe a little less. She exploited, and let us hear at the utility company there, that the white people in the South, the white people, and they said that this was a hidden book that was from Emancipation Proclamation. That's why I told you it ain't going nowhere. This is evidence, because this is way after 2010. That they have a book, a business book, y'all, where all the black people in the city have to pay the white people bills. What the living heck? I had an apartment out there. I was attacked. People were kicking in my door, trying to kill me and my daughter. And it was Diddy them, gatekeepers. I'm going to say their names. I don't know who all, but I know he was part of it. It was him. It was 3 guys. And the neighbors saw it and called the police and saved my life. And I'm thankful and give shout outs to everybody who continues to save my life, who continues to protect my children. And the overall thanks go to God as well. Yeshua. Because there's many gods. My God name is Yeshua. Yahweh, Jesus. It's Hebrew, not Latin. It's not pronounced Jesus. You know, me clapping back at Fox News, I invested in a lot of these companies years ago. They were taken by gatekeepers who tell me I own nothing, and I'm fighting back to take from them that they own nothing. And I won't stop until they're down, out, and gone. Just like they set out for that to be done to me. Multiple times. Threatened by a woman. Threatened by my seats instead of being a partner. Instead of waiting till I was ready to freaking sell. Because I was getting tired real quick. I was a young woman. I couldn't see myself at being 40 owning all them companies by myself. I was getting tired. I was actually looking for new potential buyers and partners. But nobody gave me that chance to develop into that era because of greed. Because of cocky egos and penises. They was literally jagging off and filling their own penis. Greedy heifers and chicken head thoughts, hookers and whores. That were their wives and lovers and girlfriends that wanted more. Greedy. Disrespectful. Who I despise today. Many of them. look me in my face and be low down and two-faced, five-faced, 10-faced. But God got their number. You better doggone know it. I've hit so many people so hard and I ain't gonna stop. You hit me and my family. You took me away from my kids. You took me away from myself. You took me away from my element, my companies, my love, my dreams. For what? For ego purposes. For demonic purposes. No, it wasn't because I did something wrong, to the idiots out there who are saying that. I did everything I did doggone and by the books. I graduated early. I graduated in my colleges early and on time. Aced GPAs. Purity, jealousy. People jealous and intimidated. MAGA rights today, jealous and intimidated. It's a sick world. America is a sick place. It was founded and created on theft. And yet you want to disrespect migrants. Trump, Colorado, judge, let this fool go and run in an election. Now, he might just did it because he was working his nerve and he paid the right price. That's still disgusting. That's still despicable, and I despise it. And because I don't have an office seat, I don't have authority. Because I don't have an office seat and I'm a victim and I'm healing, I don't have say so. Did I not play my cards right? Did I not play it by the books? Did I not obey the law? Screaming law this and law that. Section C, all this bull crap in the hearing. And then how the attorneys deliver back at Trump's people was epic. How they went back and forth and discussed judge, Senate, attorneys. And it was mind-blowing, the stuff that Trump people come up with. But they're supposed to be so doggone intelligent. They're supposed to be so smart, and they were so sloppy. So sloppy. I'll go all the way down to, say, talk show we was on. Jeremy Kyle's show. This fool got sued by everybody on the show. He did do it. This dude gets an idea to come international business endeavors, work visa, work in New York, United States, from the British, UK. And dog walk people, talk to them like a dog. And I'm speaking because I was one of them. See, that's why I'm speaking on things I know. I can speak about Trump because I knew of him working in the apprenticeship. Who men thought that they can do a better job than me and did poor. The money that they used, they did nothing with it. Cracks me up. And now they're being humiliated and exploited. Going broke. Still rich. But losing the money. By the hour, day, year, season. Because the world is in debt to me. That's right, I said it. I'm on record. You hit me, I'm going to hit you. You kick my cat, I'm going to stomp your dog. It's only fair. That's self-right. That's defense. And it's defamation. You came against me, I'm going to come against you. And some things I got to fall back and take the L. Because maybe it was some decisions I made and wrong hands I shook hands with. And then the other part in the spiritual world, God gonna do it. God gonna do it anyway. The world is built that way. America is so doggone greedy. Trump is so doggone corrupt. You know, I haven't had a chance yet to listen or to watch, I believe it was Michelle Obama's movie. Her book or something like that. Me and this chick got a better situation. She couldn't keep her hands off me as far as hitting me. Because I will always say that her husband was a beautiful man. He tells all in his book. Go read it. She tells what she want to tell in her book. I still have to go see it. But I'm not speaking on a personal relationship. I'm speaking on a relationship far as when I was active a bit at the White House Special Counsel. And that's corrupt. That's full of conspiracies, as it always been. America is sloppy. This whole world without God is sloppy. It's not a pick on America thing. But you happen to hear me talk about America. Why? Because I'm in America. I'm born in America. My mother and my parents born right here in America. Oh, Cincinnati, Ohio, and the other one, South Bend, Indiana. So, you know, we have a right to speak. We got a right to vote. And speaking about voting, why can't the youth go and vote? Why can't the prisoners go and vote? You want to know why? Because a lot of them are black men. A lot of them are migrants. A lot of them are immigration. That's why they're messing over them votes. Because it count. See, it's more of culture than it is whites. And you want to say that my podcast is now racist? Really? The audacity? It is a shame that I've experienced a white woman running away from me. When you see me coming, I don't look dangerous. When you see me coming, even when I was a girl, this happened. When I was a teenager, this happened. A young woman, an older woman. White women, especially in the South, I noticed it more in the South, running away from me. In the North, they run all up into you, to your face, kissing you, hugging you, everything. So there is a difference between South and North. It's a huge difference. I was born and grew up in the North, but I've experienced a little of my growing up in the South as well. And it's sad that racism is more in the South. It's sad that bitterness and corruption, low down and selfishness, ignorance does come more from the South. It does. Because if you notice, more of them through the slavery time ran north, where the books were, where the freedom were, where trade were, you know. So it is what it is. That's why it's a proven study that the northern GPA system is higher than the South. So this is why I wanted to migrate my daughter to the North so that she can have better GPA. And no shade. Not saying that the Southern are not smart. Please, I don't want no war. I don't want no rivals, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm just talking about fact check. That's all I'm talking about. Statistics, studies say, research. That's all I'm talking about as a journalist, as an activist, as my personal experience. Dealing with American foreign policy. American policy. Being a politician who went to school and not pop up like Harris and those other fake names that I don't know about, that are up there, that follow her, that have followed people before they came along. Pop up and all of a sudden you a politician. Dang, if you can just do that, man, do you know how bold I am? Shoot, I need to just start popping up in all kind of other places. I want to just do what I want to do. Shoot, look how long she been up in the game. This chick is all the way illegal. She all the way unprofessional. She all the way ineligible. I'm like, God dang, oh man, what has America come to? This chick up there doing whatever she want to do. She didn't have a political party. Nobody knew she was there. She just popped up. Only in America, man. Only in America. And usually America got their foot on things. Usually America is tight with everything. Every lane, every pocket, every industry. That government eye is everywhere. You got your neck on me. You won't let me in office. You won't celebrate me. You won't come get me. You send helicopters and paparazzi and PR agents to spy and to look in and to make fun and to make these notes to say how awful things are and why I shouldn't be there. Why I shouldn't have authority to speak against Trump or to speak in the White House or to be special counsel, to even show up, to be even contacted, to be informed or not to be informed, to even not be considered. I can go on record to say that these last 5 years, I guess I've been a joke. I feel like one. If I'm not one and I'm being celebrated, my auntie made a 3-4 hour trip just to come and tell me, your son is kicking butt for you and all these other people out there who believe and fight for you. You have been back for 5 solid years. I stood there and almost cried like I'm about to cry right now. But you want to know the tripped out thing about it is, I don't feel any of it. I can't see anything. I don't hear anything. No, it's not a physical or vision handicap. It's where's the media honoring me? But you honoring all these gatekeepers. You honoring all these planted people in the industry. It's time for them to move. I'm not going to die out of this world not seeing what I need to see. I'm not going to die out of this world not having what I need to have. I'm not going to die out of this world because I didn't die out of this world. I could have died out of this world. Yes, I did die a couple times, more than a whole bunch of times I died. But when I say I'm not going to die out, I mean be gone forever. Because God says no. It's the only person that can bring you back. Yeah, the devil can bring you back. He can. But if God don't want to allow that to happen, it won't happen. And then the person might come back, but they ain't going to stay here too long. And if they do, then, well, it's a reason that they're here. They're part of the Antichrist. They got to carry out revelation. So it's a reason why they're here. Antichrist. I don't want to be a part of that. And I'm asking God to brand me and my children away from those things. Keep my children protected away from those industries because they're out there and they're in it. I was in it. And I'm a part of these things, but I'm not out there in it as we speak now. For years, multiple years. Because of memory loss. And because of, fear. Because when I came back, man, I've been back for a long time. But I played stupid. I played like I couldn't remember. And I did that on purpose because I seen what God showed me. And I had to do it the angel of the Lord way, or I was going to perish. Before it got to this point, I was going to definitely perish. See, I can teach a lot of people a lot of things, but it's going to be a lot of people that say, don't listen to her. She doing this. She's saying that. She acting this way. She ain't doing this. I'm not supposed to do what you think I should do. I'm not supposed to say what you think I should say. I'm not supposed to look and act and feel the way you say I should because that's the devil. What did Jacqueline Carr say, the gospel singer? What the devil say I am, I'm not. What he say, what I should be, that's not what I'm going to be. What the devil tell me to say, I'm not going to say it. Well, he tell me to wear, I don't want to wear it. I ain't going to wear it. I want what God has for me. And what God has for me, it is for me. I'm already 41 minutes into my podcast. I had to vent out on that because Trump is out of control. Colorado has sickened me. This judge, the Supreme Courts are on my nerve. You know, the voters, too afraid to vote. They don't care. And that's sad. Okay? This clapping back is on a whole nother level. I want to tell the people to vote. Pray. All lives matter. Play the hand that the card dealt you. But when you play that card game, it's going to line up the way it's supposed to when it's the right card. See, I told my son, I said, sit back, baby. Because I'm going to give you the card to play by. And I'm going to give you the hand. You're going to have the winning hand. And I put those cards in his hand. And it may seem like from time to time we defeated, but we ain't never defeated. We just got to re-strategize if it seems like we muscled in a corner. Always keep that in mind, people. Students. These Republicans, they say they don't want me here. They want an all-white America. And they say that about many of us who are similar, who stand together. The Democrats, to the One Network, to Black America, media. We got to support them so we can stay educated and informed. To the Diplomatic Party, GOPs, let's get it together. All these mixed supremacy. Let me tell you something, fools. Y'all ain't better than culture. You're not better than black people. Black people are not better than white people. It's a spiritual war. That's why God says in the biblical King James Version text that you wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principality, which means overthrown governments, which means Magarite types, supremacy type things, which means gatekeepers, demonic cults, sorceries, magicians. That's what it's talking about. I need everybody to ring the alarm. I need everybody to dig for this podcast, to hear my voice, and to join my alliance. I want my alliance to be the biggest thing that ever hit this world. Not for money, not for fame, not for clickbait, not for clout. Because you want to get your life, for one. For two, you want to restore and rebuild your life and your community and your church and your companies. So I pray that we keep it real. I pray that the essential essence of God, that realness, stand up and open up in you. I'm going to say hello and keep it real. I'm going to say I do pray. I'm going to say I do respect. I'm going to say there's peace and unity in me. I'm going to say there's peace and unity in me. Declaration in the kingdom dominion. That's spiritual talk. That's religion talk and faith nation. I'm going to say hello, keep it real once again in case that didn't pick up. I'm going to say keep praying. It's some things that I want to read, but I haven't had a chance to because I was covering on so much and I didn't know it was going to go 41 minutes. So on the next clapback, part 3, it was not going to really be a clapback because I want to be done with the clapbacking because I'm not a controversial sister, woman, mother, friend, other. I'm not. That's not who I am. I get that way because people make me that way. I'm not playing a victim, but I'm fighting back, doggone it. This humanitarian philanthropist, activist, I'm fighting back. Politician, I'm fighting back. Queen ambassador, I'm fighting back. Human being in mankind and this human race, I'm fighting back. Because I see us standing as though we're in Denzel Washington movie, The Book of Eli, which is my movie. And this is not to get his attention or nobody else's. This is just what I'm telling you this world is turning into. The Zendaya movie, I think it's Dune, which is my catalog, which is me playing that role, which is my contracts and money that's been stolen. These films and all this credit, nobody got no permission. Victoria Monet standing up at the Grammys a couple weeks ago, confessing that a woman wasn't scared to go in and open a box and steal from my office. Because somebody probably told her that once worked with me and was once with me, told her that probably that was okay. And it's not. And I'm going to say alleged. I'm not going to say names because I don't know. But there's cameras, and I reported it. That'd be looked into, and that'd be dealt with. What would you do if I steal from you? What would you do if this was your life? Victimized as a gatekeeper, gatekeeping. Y'all talk to me on the podcast and on social media. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, EDD, and the second D is the word Diplomacy Alliance Podcast with an S. My other pages have been hit. I cannot get into them. I'm trying to find a way to merge it together. But we're going to stay in that pocket. It's verified. Y'all come talk to me. Don't be afraid. There have been complaints that people can't reach me. My address is 1818 Milton Ave, number 574, Janesville, Wisconsin, 53545. Write me a letter. I'm an old-fashioned girl. Way, way, way back past the 90s. Okay? I'm old-fashioned. I like letters. I'm kind of scared of gifts, but I'll take that as an influencer. Samples for products you want me to review and talk about. I am an international supervisor, brand ambassador. A lot of things are still under litigation. But go check out my podcast to hear those kind of stories. I won't get into that any more than I've already touched on. They told me to extend out my podcast to make it more where I can be able to get paid as a professional podcaster for an hour. I don't know if I can really go an hour because my equipment is not set up properly where I can read the teleprompter. And that's the issue that I'm having why I can't do my hour segments. But I'm going to find a way to get these pre-recorded episodes teleprompter, all of it with these mobile devices that I have, because it can be done and I've done it. So when it comes to AI and the intelligence, I am thankful and happy about that you don't need a dozen equipments to make a great podcast show. Not even a live podcast show. I do it all the time. CapCut, Snapchat. What else do I use? YouTube, my platform. And I still ain't been honored. I don't know what's going on with that. They have not merged my channels together. I've not got any plaques that I know of. I've not received any checks that I know of. Now, I heard through my babies that they got it. Well, go ahead and keep on collecting it. But let me reap these benefits and feel what it needs to feel like already. Doggone it. Families, take care of one another. If you're a wrong type of family doing the wrong type of things, in the name of Jesus, you are coming down. You cannot go out there doing what you're doing, dirty and low down, doing stuff, hitting people, stealing from people, lying on people, backbiting, talking bad about people, throwing celebrations, got people ignoring people and thinking it's going to stay that way. It ain't going to stay that way. Because I told you, this world is built on karma. This world is built on karma. You coming down. All of you. Any of you. I don't care if you in the UK. I don't care if you in third world country. I don't care if you're in Europe. You're coming down. Any wrongdoing that you're doing, you coming down. You need to make that right. And see, here's the thing about people who go and run and make something right. You've done too much wrong. You coming down anyway. Diddy changing his name to Love, you coming down. It doesn't work like that. You who messed over wives and children, you coming down. It does not work like that because you go get married and have a new family. You're coming down. This world ain't built on how you think it's built on. To the politicians, messing over people of my caliber because you mocking and making fun of us, or you think that you're better than us, belittling us and degrading us. You're coming down. I don't want to be a part of this one world government. I'm going to be a Christian to the day God calls me home. I don't want what this world got to offer. I've been there, out there, and seen what gatekeepers do. I'm a victim of those gatekeepers that are making airwaves. I'm a victim of all of them, pretty much. I'm not saying allegedly. I am. I'm a survivor. Even though I've always hated politics. You know, I used to sit and watch TV, and I believe I said this on the last podcast. I used to sit and watch TV and say, one day that's going to be me. I'm going to talk to my children. Not my children I birthed so much. I mean any of the children, any of the youth. Be careful what you see, hear, and you desire. You don't have control over what you see and hear. Sometimes you don't even have control over what you desire and what you want. See, I'm one of those people. People wanted things and they lived their life through me. That is hell. It feels like hell. It turns out many years from now as being hell. You ruin your child's life. Be in your child's life. Love your children. Take care of your children. Understand and hear your children. Oh, I'm praying for God to help me be a better mom. Because I've been hit and affected by so much until it's taken a toll on me emotionally, physically. But the power of God will teach you. And God automatically steps in us and becomes love. This is why God tells us to turn from the wicked ways and our wicked thoughts. Because when he steps in you, he automatically becomes love. That's why the love in you is so good. Because you're full of love. It's easy for you to forgive. You ain't got time for no mess and no bull. That's why you won't tolerate it. That's why I can't tolerate it. I can't teach people to tolerate it. What's beautiful about being a fool? What feels comfortable about being foolish and ignorant? But you got people out there doing it. You got people living lies. Ask God to put shame on them. Let them not have no rest in Jesus' name. I pray for your enemies that they don't have no rest in Jesus' name. See, because God go to any and everybody throughout this world. I pray for your endeavors and your incentives. I pray that God overturn and overthrow the fears and doubts that you have in him and the lack of trust. I'm trying to push this podcast to an hour. Let's just think about it. Rebuilding is not easy. Rebranding is not easy. That's all I've ever done. Until one day, I couldn't do it no more because I didn't have common sense. I didn't have memory. I still go through changes. Yes, with age, but I'm talking about as healing from all the gatekeepers' magic that was put upon me, that was put inside of me. The changes that have caused me to dying and coming back. But I'm more stronger and powerful than I ever been. And I feel all of the entity. I feel all of the epiphany. I feel all of God's power. When you wake up, that awakening can either be one or two things, rude or right. Let me break that down real quick. Rude means you have something evil, like this woman that I posted on Twitter not too long ago. She gliding up hills, and I see my children over there with an ex. He over there with this witch at dinner parties, and this witch magic chick psycho bimbo. It's got dead bodies and cut up body parts and magic spells just all over the place. It is so demonic and sick and twisted. I went and reported his sick behind. But you know what? You know what happened? They protect this fool. Because in the judge, in the Supreme Courts, that's full of cults. And those who are not, stand up. Because see, I'm working in every platform. I'm working in every industry. You can say it's not working if you want to. It's working. People are stopping and they're crying and they're running scared, knowing that I'm on my way. It's been over 5 years. How come I haven't got there? Because these people are running to me because they don't want me to run out there because of my power and authority. Can't do nothing about that. I'm coming. When? I'll never say. Oh, let's follow her. We got that. That's easy. But what you don't have is God. Now get that. What you don't have is authority and power over God. Now get that. Because you're going to be a mighty doggone Negro or niggas to overthrow God. I ain't never heard of nothing that's been able to overthrow God. Nor heaven. Do it. I'm waiting. And it ain't been printed in the book of the Bible. So this is interesting to see what fool think he about to be overthrowing heaven. This is very interesting. To be physical in the real life to overthrow something spiritual. This is beyond incapacitated in mind. Just the thought alone. So, I pray for people's belief in God. Ask that you believe in God. I'm not pushing religion down your throat, but I am pushing the agenda. Yeah, I am. I really want to say I command people to go and worship God. I really want to say that. Why? Because I can assure you that he brought me from death. And it wasn't magic. Whatever was upon me that magic had something to do with, God overthrowed that. God took over. Because let me tell you something about a crazy deranged chick or dude. I would have been out doing way more damage by now. All this damage that people are saying that I'm doing, it would have been way worse off. A crazy psycho person, first of all, can't sit still. Second of all, you ain't going to find them. They ain't going to sit in no one place. Third of all, too much damage would have been done. So that's hilarious. So I'm going to get off that because I don't spend my time talking about foolishness and ridiculous stuff. I shine light on it. I ain't going to spend too much time on that. So yes, I want to command and push the agenda. And you know what that I love that people are already doing? When something is full of love, when something is full of compassion, When something is full of, it's just what it's supposed to be, the right season that is supposed to happen. People are out there, if you go and do research, they're praying. College people on college campuses are praying. People walking on the streets preaching the gospel. Oh my Lord. People in their homes having Bible study. Church hours, loving God and continuing throughout COVID, throughout threats, throughout massacre shootouts, deaths of pastors. They're continuing their belief in God. See, I've been in this thing successful since I was actually a child, but that was taken over by many adults and split. It was horrible. I lived a horrible life. I live a horrible life now. But I'm content where I am because I'm waiting on my children. I'm waiting on God. I'm waiting on my potential partners to say, come on, we got something for you over here. That's what I'm waiting on. I had to wait on me to re-arrive. A lot of people say, why she ain't stepped out? We want her to come on. You got to wait for your season. See, I didn't understand what that meant. Not at being 41 years old. You know, not really. Until God really started dealing with me in my worship. When I opened up my mind in meditation. And he began to show me, your season is when you allow yourself to be conditioned. When you stop leaning into your own understanding and wanting to do things just all by yourself. I suffer more. To become great, you got to suffer more. To become a queen, an ambassador, you got to know what suffering is all about. To become a great Christian, you have to know what pain really feels like. You have to know what great losses really feel like. You have to know what being alone for long periods of time really feel like. Because when I speak, when I talk, when I grace a room, when I grace your presence, you're going to feel all of that. You're going to see it. And for some of you, you're going to be intimidated and not understand why. Because that's a warring of spirits. That is what God is talking about. Yeshua is talking about you wrestle not against flesh and blood. That is what Yeshua is talking about. Loss of love, loss of respect, loss of honor, loss of yourself. Trying to find yourself. All of that plays a role in who I am and the seats that I hold as a royal diplomatic queen. That people despise and intimidate and are so sick with jealousy of me. And don't even understand that I will give you the biggest, any and everything I can possibly hand you. That I plant love, that I plant forgiveness, that I plant being prosperous, that I plant courage and being brave. But those who see me as something else, that's because you're something else. She's evil, she's a liar, she's this. That's because you're a liar, you're evil, you're that. Need I say more? Because I don't mind putting it on record. And all who agree with me, I thank you. All who pray with me, I thank you. All who pray for me, I need you. And not prey on me as following and stalking. Not prey on me far as making me a victim. Not prey on me far as evil and magic. I don't need that. I won't accept it. In the name of Jesus, no weapon formed against me nor against my bloodline shall prosper. It can't, it won't prevail because God said no. Because I yield my body, my mind, my soul, my everything, my confidence, my thoughts, my wants, my desires to the God that I worship. And my worship is for real. So to the Magarites, because I am who that I am, because I'm from God who says that I am that I am. That's too deep for you. I have that power and authority because God says I have it. He gave that to me. He gave those seats to those who have it, and those who killed for it, those who murdered to get what they got up there on those UAE G20 embassy consular seats. See, now I'm talking to the higher up people because I am higher up. I'm talking to the us's. We got to do better. We do got to do better in our culture and in leading. All this complaint about westernization is no different than how I've been complaining over the years about what somebody said and done to me. It's the same difference. It's the same thing. Different names, different time, different people, different faces, different location. But it's yet and still the same complaint far as he said, she said, they did. What do we do now? Changes have been made. I have a word for people who are ignorant. Shut up. Move. Get out the way. I have a message for those who are corrupt and evil. Your time is up in the name of Jesus. Whatever that means in God, because I don't have the power of authority. Now I'm going to handle what need to be handled for me and my kids. But overall, I'm not God. And I'm not going to play God. So guess what, everybody? I made my hour. I got to make more podcast series like this so that I can be considered a real professional podcaster. I am Sony Sonia of iHeartRadio, of Sony Records. I was awarded by Sony, Universal, and Warner, all those great people. As a person who was trusted, I started as an A&R. I'm a child star. Family members are big names who are passed on and died out, and some are still living. And they know who they are. I use my platform to, like I said, again, save lives. I love radio, I love podcasting, I love broadcasting. I love to vent. Why not, right? Because right now, those people who stole my black card, I can't go pay the therapist that I need to go see. They run around with my black cards. So I got to get that and nip it in the bud and take everything that they got to show them a lesson. This is how I feel. A spoonful of medicine. You dish it out there but can't take it. That is what's mind-blowing. I'll never understand that. But anyways, my grandpa always say you can't understand a fool. Because once you start to understand a crazy person or a fool, you've become one. That's why I can't understand it. So y'all run with that saying and keep it on repeat. You know, people try to play me for a sucker and a fool. I'll let you have those coupons, but that's going to run out though. See what I'm saying? See, everything expires. You know, everything must die. There's a time where everything is going to be born and birth, whether it's spiritually or naturally. There's a time and a season for everything. What's in your season? What are you going to do in your season? How are you going to handle your season? I just suggest that when you in your season, you let God control it. Because it's going to make sense. It's going to come back. Everything right is going to come back to you. I love doing radio. So this is still Sony Sonia of iHeartRadio, of Sony Music, of Warner, of Universal that are mine, of Republic Records that are mine. Those people are in debt to me and they owe me billions and zillions, quadrillion, trillion, lillion, zillions of dollars that are unpaid to me. But we're going to let time take its course. Till next time. Thank you for tuning in. I'm coming back with those, with the Ask AI that's going to help me with these political questions that I have. Just more venting in the political realm. And I'm going to try to stay in that pocket. And what kind of policies I want to look forward to. Apologies to the political world and the diplomacy, State Department, to the White House, who don't miss me, who don't care less where I am. But to those who were cool with me, I'm all right. I am alive. I am well. My health, yeah, it's in jeopardy. People have come and infected and afflicted me. But God got that number. So stay up. Stay in touch because I'm going to be connecting to you. This is again the Chantel Hart Show. Blog radio, and or I'm at TikTok. I'm Chantel Hart Show Radio, and then it's ED Diplomacy Alliance podcast, and that's all bunched up together. Strike, SAG after success, 2023 Hollywood labor disputes. I was a part of that. Spiritually, physically, online. I promoted that everybody get together and not only do podcasts, start podcasts, make reports of things happening, sue, get together, forget about your differences, and take down industries, corporate America's cults that are depicting, dictating, hurting, unfair contributions, anything negative, unfair reforms in our community, in our industries, in our industrial industries, government, conspiracy, corruptions, just taking it back, rebuilding America, okay? And we're in the Biden administration era. SAG after members picketing New York City, July 2023. I mean, it went from a few to massive states and countries in a matter of days to weeks. And I'm so thankful everybody heard my voice, accepted it. I accepted yours, prayed for you, prayed with you, saw you, watched you as you watched my profiles. Couldn't reach and get to me. I apologize about that. It's perpetrators who are out there and mixed and mingle in with you all who are stopping it. Because this is the great reason for the failure of the many hostile takeovers in industries that had crumbled around the eras of late 90s to 2005, and then from 5 on to 2000 and maybe 20, 21, 22. So fighting hard. Whatever you know, see, hear, report it. Save a life. November 9th, 2023, through July 14th. 3 months, 26 days, 118 days. Recorded on Wikipedia, en.m.wikipedia.com. For those who want to know where I got this article from, it is not mine. I did not create this content, but I'm just using it as Creative Commons. I'm the author. I am Sonny Sonia of iHeartRadio, Buyer 2005, hit and struck, murder plots and death plots carried out. I am a survivor. I am Chantel Hobson, and many last names for many different purposes, but I carried my grandfather's names out. Never ever did I ever not use a last name for disrespect or selfish reasons. It was doing business as trademark and copyright purposes. Lack of agreement on new contract between SAG-AFTRA and AMPTP. Streaming residuals and regulations of self-tape auditions. Studio usage of artificial intelligence, as we know as AI, to scan actors' faces. This is where the drama came. To generate performances digitally. They did not want to pay. They wanted to replace AI with these human beings that the Creator, Lord God Almighty, Yeshua, created. I spoke about that in my last podcast. Logic, not my pastor, as if I joined a church, but the pastor, that church that I'm fond of, and I attend, spoke about logic and used Star Trek as a great example. The leader and the captain of the board of the ship is the one that is in control. Then you have your logic, your team, your intelligence, as we know today as CIA, CISA, DHS, and AI. So we go to these for integration and that's been integrated and expanded over time in years and decades and centuries. Okay. So, and it's great for that creation, but we do need human. It's fun and cute and fancy and smart strategies to use these things, but is it going to really be necessary to wipe out mankind for AI and robot that's going to get it wrong eventually, that gets it wrong, that breaks down, that goes through malfunction? I mean, hello. So goals: ratification of labor contract, streaming service residual formula, greater regulation of self-tape auditions, preventing AI from replacing actors on set, methods, strike, action, work, stoppage, picketing, unfair labor practice, charges. This is when I came in on the Chantel Heart Show Radio TikTok, as well as Dr. Chantel Maxwell at Facebook, YouTube Shan Reacts, as well as NICE Diplomacy Alliance, and the groups like Page Reels with that name, as well as Tumblr. Resulted in tentative agreements reached on November 8th, 2023. Contract ratified on December 5th, 2003. Follow me at Twitter. Get them likes up. My goal is 50 million on Twitter so that I can be a paid content. The Chantel Har number 3. The Chantel Har number 3. Drop the T. It's going to be HER number 3. So that's THESHANTEL HEAR. Drop the T number 3. SAG after the parties. But there were more than those parties, y'all. I'm telling straight up, all of the UAE, all of the nations, all of the Europeans, United Kingdom, my partners, Commonwealth Development Allies, y'all showed up and showed out. Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. It brought SAG after to the yard. From July to November, the American Actors Union, Screen Actor Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. I am a member. I am a talent buyer. I'm a record exec. Many record companies invested in my work, my money, my contribution, my advice, blood, sweat, tears, and afflicted, humiliated, and in every way by gatekeepers. So I count. Do not count me out. I'm also in politics these days, where you'll find me. AMPTP, as the longest strike in SAG after history, its combined impact 2023 last year. We are in 2024 as we speak, February 15th. Resulted in the loss of 45,000 jobs. Estimated 6.5 billion loss in the economy of Southern California. Ring the alarm. The deadline, Hollywood of harsh pain, was perhaps felt among the below-the-line picket workers who had to sell their mortgage, their homes, homelessness, wipe through their IRAs to survive. And that ain't all, y'all. It was hostile takeover with them gatekeepers, because I'm one of them. Along with the 2023 Writer Guild of America strike that I helped push, that God gave me strength to be bold to speak out. It was part of the series of the broader Hollywood labor disputes. Many of the actor and actresses came out. All of the Disney characters, movies on Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, etc., stepped out and came to the yard and made a difference and voiced their opinion. Celebrities, just regular workers who are famous, local, the neighbors, represented even those who have been dead and gone and passed on. And their families are left behind. What do we do? How do we take care of them? What is fair? This is the biggest by far reform, and it's WGA strikes contributed to the biggest interruption to the American film television industries since impact of COVID-19 pandemic. And I was just getting ready to say that before I read this line, because it's they're hiding. The government, see, they tend to do things to hide a lot of what's going on, okay, in the government world, which is conspiracy theories that are really conspiracies. And some, yes, are theories, you know. These bunkers and tunnels where they hide our children. Children are lost in the walls. And I say mine because my actual birth children aren't there, but are we the people culture. Get together. Get down in those tunnels. Get your gear on. Don't go naked without no gear on. But learn to strategize. Learn mountain climbing. Be careful. Get helicopters out there. Be careful not to cave these walls in on these kids. But they got these children hidden in these bunkers doing tests on them. Illuminati cults. They got your kids down up in these walls doing documentaries about them and releasing them on Hulu. And these are freaks. And they're saying that people come down there and they never make it back out. Law enforcement come down there and rescue people and they never make it out. People being nosy, mountain climbers, and people who are just camping with their families go and hear screams from caves and they don't make it back out. There's a God in heaven. And I almost want to agree with you and say, God, what kind of God are you to let this happen? What kind of God are you not to go on and help these people? But see, God knew it was going to happen before it happened. So there's nothing. See, some things are just beyond our power and our control. That don't mean stop being a believer. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Stay believing. Have faith. Stay praying. Strategize. Get into these companies and these sick freak weirdo minds. Save and rescue these children in these tunnel walls. See, this is real deep. So while they're doing that, they got all of this movement about some SAG-AFTRA and all these entertainment gatekeeping and all these other freak weirdos that's attacking judges and just whatever industry you can possibly think of. Fake news, real news. But let's stay on focus, as to what's going on. And that's any and everything all around us. And how do we stop and silence our spirit, our mind, our physical, our mental? You meditate. You find God. This world is made up of both earth realm and spiritual realm. Your spiritual realm leads. It is first. You nourish it first. And then your physical. You skip breakfast, nothing to eat or drink, and you meditate for hours, sometimes weeks, days. You do a shut-in. Read the holy word of God. Because he's going to show us as we quiet down, as we take a standstill, as we pause, and as the universe pauses. See, when you stop and align yourself, you know that sometimes, I have an example, when you get dizzy or you feel like you're getting delirious, take time to stop. And you'll notice it feels like the universe stopped with you. That's because it did. No, the earth is still spinning. And isn't that amazing, But do as I suggest, and you will start to rank and unfold in the spiritual realm. You will start to level up, and it will work in your favor. So, back to the strike. Changes in the industry caused by the pandemic, COVID-19 in 2020, just when Biden was kicking in, just 3 years prior to the addition of solidarity with the writers, it led these changes. Streamings was affected. Effect on residuals. Effect on everything. As well as other new technologies and digital recreations like AI. Marked the first actor initiated a labor dispute in the U.S., United States of America. Since 1980, actors strike the first time. And actors and writers have walked out simultaneously since 1960. Negotiations between SAG-AFTRA and AMPTP took place from October 2nd and October 11th, which is in there with my birthday, October 7th, and resumed on October 24th. And on November 8th, 2023, a tentative deal between the two sides was reached. Because they wasn't playing out there. Y'all saw it. You can go look it up right now on the YouTube platform. And thank you for making it history. Striking ended on November 9th at approximately 12:01 a.m. before the sun rose up. On December 5th, SAG-AFTRA membership ratified and the contract. Over 78% of the members, now this is fact check that I'm doing, vote in favor of it. The background: unionization in Hollywood. The labor union represents 160,000 media professionals and entertainers. The Alliance Motion Picture Television Producers, that AMPTP is what that means, trade association, represents film and television studio in collective bargaining negotiation with unions such as SAG-AFTRA, Directors Guild of America, DGA, Writers Guild of America, East, and Writer Guilds of America, West. Compromising the Writers Guild of America, WGA, SAG, was formed by mergers, Screen Actors Guild and American Federation Television. The after represent only, not the actors, but of course radio artists, American Federation of Television, allowing the union to represent also journalists like myself, hello, talk show hosts. I incorporated my own, network, and other broadcast workers, media, The WGA and Screen Actors Guild have not simultaneously been on strike since 1960 hippie years, when actors joined striking writers over residual payments from films sold to television networks. Fact check. 1980 actors strike involved combined efforts of SAG and AFTRA that I'm a member of. So I understand this frustration. The largest SAG-AFTRA strike since 1980 occurred in 2000. And the commercial actors went on strike, pushed for the continuation of residual system against advertisers' backlash, amidst the divisions between the unions, SAG and AFTRA. So during the decade, the rising of the streaming writers and actors frustrated over the studio policies, streaming services, declined network television has led stronger resilience in other residuals. 2007 through 2008, year that my last baby was born, WGA strikes was motivated in a large part by studio executives insisting that writers should receive no residuals from streaming services. I beg to differ. The audacity. 2007 and 2008, strike cost city Los Angeles, city that I invested in greatly, as estimated US $1.5 billion. According to NPR, with striking WGA writers, actors expressed concerns about the use of artificial intelligence. Nothing that it could be used to replicate the likeness without compensation. Pre-strike activity. It went on in May 2003 last year. SAG-AFTRA's National Board of Directors unanimously, agreed to pursue the strike authorization to vote ahead and renew contracts. So they was in there on that bull. And they expired on the 30th of 2023 because I was pushing the narrative. I was pushing videos in the word and putting my humanitarian word and power and using the voting blessing power that I got from the people. I'm a people person. So I look and see what are the needs and demands, and I met them, along with many others. And thank you for we all who were joined and stood together to take no more nonsense and unfair behavior and rip-offs. Unconstitutional to break laws, right? But they find a way to keep doing things. Excuse me. So the negotiation of June 7th, last year, 2023, the city union stated that it did not intend to strike, that it sought to give the negotiators a maximum bargaining leverage But then y'all seen when Nanny Fran came to the podium and said, and other celebrities that followed, and politicians and working members. Several issues in negotiations, including economic fairness, residuals, regulating the use of artificial intelligence, the burdens of the industry-wide shift to self-tape, told its member and alliance of motion picture television producers would cut the salaries to pad corporate profits. Audacity. A video released May 30th, 2023, SAG members of After Union Julia Louis Dreyfus, sorry if I'm butchering that, Nanny Fran, Jean Smart, Camille Najani, sorry if I butchered that, appeared to the members to vote and strike, and reserved that vote strike authorization be solely bargaining tool, and to vote order to immediate strike. And my name should have been in there as well. They're going to keep my name out. Sonia Robinson, that I used as a name that was under hostile takeover, but it's Chantel Hobson Maxwell. But I went as Sonia, the doing business name. Stage theatrical production, theater background that I have. And this is how I even got attached to this, because of that. Signed to the record companies. A&R went in there as making and finalizing, approving artists, whether it be your clothes, whether it be the personality, the character, your sound, any and everything, because they trusted my decision because of my mentors and my family and where I come from. Okay, which is a huge background. So, and that's honorary artists and musicians and sports players and models and writers, that were members and non-members. So high-profile members including Quintia Brunson, Jennifer Lawrence, and Rami Malek signaled their willingness to strike ahead and deadline to achieve transformative deals, and despite of extremely productive negotiations. At this time, I'm going to pause in the fact check. By this time, I was furious releasing my videos again at the Chantel Hart Show Radio TikTok, as well as YouTube, Shan Reacts. I was going in because I was going crazy. Go physically, go spiritually praying, and protesting the right way by law, and petitioning and getting these idiots out of there who are gatekeepers, who are corrupt, who are stealing, who are unprofessional. Those who are professional may have been, a fear for their life and, want to live instead of die, because things up there, when you don't do what the gatekeepers say, they take you out. Y'all know that. You see what's going on. July 13th, 2023 is extended negotiations on midnight in an attempt to avoid strike, but negotiation, I'm sure there was threats to the members and those behind the closed doors that locked and was on the outside looking into the protesters. They surveyed members on the strike, and then you had your journalists surveying and doing their fact checks and monitoring, and began preparing picket signs, 2 days later, after July 13th. The AMPT agreed the last-minute request for the mediation and federal mediation and conciliation service on July 11, 2023, Congressional and Public Affairs. That's when we stepped in. Greg Rillison stated that federal mediation would be present on the following day. In turn, SAG after accused AMPTP of attempting extended negotiation beyond the deadline. That's when Biden and everybody else stepped in, because we wasn't having it, and ratified, and it would not be continued negotiation after July 12th of 2023. A number of high-profile actors supporting, again, signing a letter urging the union to take aggressive measures, stating their willingness to strike. Okay. It was later reported to Verity and many other media, takeouts, press, everything. Any and everybody was on this. The mediation collapsed. AMPTP President Carol Lombardini insulted negotiators by telling them to be civilized and to be avert a strike, be prompt a walkout by union negotiators. A response to her comment, SAG after President Fran, I'm sorry, Fran, your name is hard, but we know her as Nanny, reportedly said, AMPTP negotiators, now you've got to do the union strikes on strike they left. The 12th of July, 2023, a statement was made announcing that the construction, the Fast and Furious themed roller coaster, which I'm in that franchise as well, so I play a big part in what's going on with that. The deadline SAG-AFTRA gave the ending negotiation in the construction began strikes start. I'm throughout any and all of this as a talent buyer executive. This added a talent owner, partner with the labels and as with creative artists and all these government societies, record companies, publishing companies, at Sony Sonia. The strike started. This added the construction to begin on May 8th, shortly after WGA began protesting on site, obstructing Boulevard along west end of Park Campus parking lot, further restricting sidewalk access. Go and look at the footage so you can know what they're talking about. Type in your keywords for SAG-AFTRA strike and picketing and where they were. Sidewalks in front of gates 1, 2, 4, and 5 would be scalloped off and demolished in construction. Ooh, they was trying to get rid of them like rats and mice, honey. Despite of prior advice from Los Angeles Police Department, Labor Relations Unit to place K-rails from River Road's Universal Hollywood Drive for safety protesters and other Presbyterians since WGA protests as early as June 6. None were placed by July 18th, by which time there was reports and 2 protesters struck by vehicle had made. So I wouldn't be surprised. Y'all ain't being messy, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was sent. But SAG-AFTRA President Fran Drescher announced the strike on July 13, 2023. July 13th, no agreement between SAG-AFTRA and Alliance Motion Picture Television Producers Negotiating Committee voted unanimously to recommend a strike to the union's national board, held a vote officially approving the strike. President Fran announced the strike would begin on midnight, July 14th. Cast left the film of London premiere ahead of the announcement to walk out. It's Oppmenheimer, that word. Joined by Chief Negotiator Duncan Crabtree, Ireland. Drescher, who is Fran, asserted that, who is Nanny from the Nanny, strike was reluctant to the last resort. He was asserted and described to propose contract moving around furniture on the Titanic. In press conference, he alleged that the AMPTP attempted to include proposal and allowed studios to one-time fee equivalent for one-day pay, exclusive, indefinite rights to extras likeness, including to generate AI to replicate them on screen. So it was a takeover. The gatekeepers doing the hostile takeover. Media commentators liked this film, The Congress, 2013, and The Black Mirror, 6 Sense People, Joan is Awful, 2023. However, the union AMPTP denied these claims, stating their proposal would allow usage of replicas within the specific film for which they are employed, and that any other uses would require consent and further compensation. Fact check. The timeline negotiation to strike activity. July 2023, it officially began. July 14th, it was ruled established on July 10th. Actors cannot engage in film, television productions, cannot take part in promotional work, such as press junkets, film premieres, events, including San Diego Comic-Con. It was scheduled July 20th through the 23rd. The strike action does not apply to SAG-AFTRA members who work under contracts and are negotiated by the union separately from AMPTP contracting. I have a background in law and paralegal and all that stuff, and in contracts. I specialize in negotiating and contracting as I signed my contracts before they was taken by gatekeepers with hostile takeover. And those people that you see, all those thousands of people you see, are industry plants, as Kanye West said. And I put that on record, keep that on repeat. Including broadcast journalists, talking about myself, and podcasts, micro budgets, radio as an iHeart, dependent films, I'm a filmmaker, student films, and allowed in unscripted television work such as game shows, reality competitions. I've done it all. Documentaries, talk shows, internationally, I've been everywhere. SAG-AFTRA members are authorized to continue work in United Kingdom under establishment. This affected me. I couldn't even get a passport. They rejected everything because of the gatekeepers, because of this nonchalant nonsense with the stupid AI replica and other bullcrap. Equity collective bargaining agreements. In fact check, as UK law criminalizes solidarity strikes. HBO series House of Dragon, and then also I guess would be added to is House of Vicious, which was a film about myself when people took it upon themselves to write about me and degrade my character. And so I took out to sue any and everybody that had my character, my name, acting as me without permission and degrading me and defaming me. Need I say more? So because they thought I was stupid in sleep. Under equity contracts prompting backlash among fans and series. On July 17th, the Fishes Trees of Barham Boulevard sidewalk gateway, or outside the gate 8, were pruned. Apologize for that. Tongue tiredness. Almost entirely out of their leaves. Pine trees on the opposite side of Barham were not touched, nor were the rose pepper trees behind the fence near the production gate. So I don't know anything about that physically. Actually, I wasn't there, and I am going to go and do more research on this because I'm going to go ahead and do more podcasting on this. Pruning was described as vindictive action because the trees had been use of protectors as shade for over 90 degrees Fahrenheit to 32 Celsius summertime temperatures of Southern California. The pruning was also described as legal grounds that the trees are owned by city, and Los Angeles Trees Ordinance prohibit trimming them between July and September. NBC Universal issued a statement deadline Hollywood denying the trimming was done out of malice. See, I ain't even surprised to hear that nonchalant bullcrap. Claiming they trim the trees outside the park in July annually for safety. Describing it as the obstructive construction hazards as unintended challenges. Ring that alarm. For demonstrators. NBC Universal was fined, fact check, $250 for violating these tree laws by destroying the city property. So what's that about? Man, a lot going on, man. In my city of many. So also on July 17th, SAG-AFTRA, and it's also city which I governor, released 12-page statement outlining breakdowns in negotiations and terms they found unacceptable. I find unacceptable. Including but not limited to 5% salary increase for actors. Ridiculous. While union had asked for 11%, the union released a counter statement enlightening action being deliberately distorted, AMPTP, and that SAG-AFTRA had chosen Passover who have not paid me. Most lucrative deals have negotiated. See, I got to grab and snatch back, and I'm doing that from gatekeepers. Hello. Valued at $318 million over a 3-year term contract. And only in July 18th, NBC Universal was accused of conducting business at Universal Studios Hollywood to deter the endanger to the protesters and infringe on their rights to protest. Hallelujah, that is accuracy. In response, the SAG-AFTRA WGA issued a joint grievance, my lord, to the National Labor Relations Board against the NBC Universal, accusing company of interfering with their freedom to picket and endangering their members. Writers Guild of America West. Additionally, see people piling up. They coming together. They standing together. By that time, I'm in there standing with everybody. To AMPT in response of the NBC Universal failure to install barriers to protect WGA and SAG-AFTRA and these other unions, protectors that are traveling afar, risking their health, risking their life and their lifestyle and family, and sacrificing things, losing things, and forced into traffic, among other things. NBC Universal responded to the Hollywood Reporter. In that statement, we are aware of the WGA SAG-AFTRA complaints. We strongly believe that the company has fulfilled our legal obligation under the National Labor Relations Act, NLRA fact check, and we will cooperate and respect any inquiries to the NLR board on this issue. Okay. National Labor Relations. While we understand the timing of our multi-year construction project has created challenges for the demonstrators, we will work with the public agencies to increase access. We support the union's rights to demonstrate safely. So on July 19th of last year, 2023, SAG-AFTRA approved more films to be shot during the strike. So people getting busy and they determined. Shalaman's The Watchers and Sam Ramey's Don't Move, David Laurie's Mother Mary, 56 films then became eligible to shoot under strike rules. See, now we standing together and fighting together. As I was suggesting on Twitter, going viral, the Chantal Haar dropped the T3, okay? And on the TikTok, the Chantal Haar Heart radio. On July 25th, 2023, thousands of actors rallied Tuesday morning at Times Square. Y'all, by this time, it had expanded. 9:30 a.m. to noon voiced their concerns about fair treatment and wages. Main contractual negotiator Duncan Crabtree Ireland spoke and struggled that the unions is facing AMPTP. Many celebrities gave speeches and expressed their concerns about future on these union technologies advancements in the industry. And in attendance, there was Lauren Ambrose, Christine Baranski, Steve Buscemi, Matt Balmer, just everybody you can think of, Gregory Diaz, Brendan Fraser, Nancy Giles, just the list goes on and on and on. And we also saw them, right? August 2023, picketing was called off one day. August 21st, 2023, due to Hurricane Hillary. September 2023, on the first fact check, SAG-AFTRA, the National Board voted to send video game strike authorization votes to its members. On September 25th of 2023, the results showed the authorization passed with 98.32% voting in favor. After the WGA, AMPTP, these are unions, reached a tentative agreement on September 24th, leading to the official end of WGA strike on September 27th. SAG-AFTRA announced that it remained on strike, called for renewed negotiations with AMPT. Later on September 27th, SAG-AFTRA, they made a joint announcement with AMPTP to resume negotiations for new TV theatrical contract on Monday, October 2nd. Okay, so they were down there at that plaza in California and all around it, throughout the city, in Europe, in London, United Kingdom, third world countries, Africa, and you name it. They were on board, as they always are. So thank you to all our, government societies and record companies and all the members and non-members, because you made a difference. On October 2nd, they met for negotiations between two unions. To strike began on July 14th. They were held at the headquarters, as I mentioned, Wilshire Boulevard, rather than the headquarters over there at AMPTP's Sherman Oaks, as according to the deadline, SAG-AFTRA officials were displeased with AMPTP's setup and wanted to change the scenery. Participants included AMPTP chief Carol Lombardini, Donna Langley, NBC Universal David Zaslav, Warner Brother Discovery Ted Sarandinos. I'm sorry if I'm butchering these people. Netflix Bob Inger, Disney as well, SAG-AFTRA Fran Drescher, as well as myself, Sonny Sonia, Crabtree, Ireland, Ray Regress, and everybody else that's unmentioned, which is unfair. The meeting concluded with announcement that would meet again on the 4th. And I believe they're just talking about the coverage of people who was actually physically there. But it's not that we're counted out. This pattern continued for October 4th through the 9th, throughout my birthday week, which I haven't been celebrated in over, 18 plus years because of gatekeepers. And because I'm unpaid. So when a joint statement announced meeting on October 11th, negotiations broke on that day. Beginning the 12th the next day, reasons were given why negotiations stopped. Saradinos said that they talked and broke down. The SAG-AFTRA introduced a levy on subscribers to top other areas who would bridge too far. So the SAG was accused of bullying tactics. Oh, no, they didn't. So the president Dran of SAG-AFTRA stating that the AMPTP was given proposal package and worked 36 hours on it. That's a lot. We brought it back to them and we walked through it and they left it and called a few hours later. We're breaking negotiations. So Drescher, Fran, Nanny, has also said SAG-AFTRA wants to continue negotiations. Duncan Crabtree, Ireland of SAG-AFTRA also responded, stating the public statement of CEOs in their press release characterize our demands as excessive, and we really don't think they are. The numbers they've been using are wildly outstated. So they were fighting back. The union were fighting the people. The people picketing, members and non-members of the union, was striking for endless months. And, we've been striking for years, not me physically, but I say we as in the people. But during these actual fact check months, I was present as far as, online and in prayers. And I was helping make the difference with my power as humanitarian leader, higher up, royalty, queen, ambassador, so I'm using that and calling other allies, and they came forward. So thank you for that, partners and allies. So on October 16th, that was announced the scheduled negotiation for new video game contracts. October 19th, deadline, Hollywood reported that the Zoom call will be between Hollywood stars George Clooney, Scarlett Johansson, Kerry Washington, Tyler Perry, Bradley Cooper. And it's just like people like him shouldn't have been on board. Meryl Streep, Jennifer Aniston, Robert De Niro, Ben Affleck, Lauren Dern, Emma Stone. All these gatekeepers, if they're gatekeepers, shouldn't have been there. Ryan Reynolds, Reese Witherspoon, Ariana DeBose, and myself, Sonny Sonia, should have been in there. As SAG-AFTRA leaders introduced as proposal the amounts of town's biggest earnest defraying costs. AMPTP signatories eliminating cap on membership dues used to bolster health benefits and other areas that the SAG-AFTRA is trying to shore up. See, a lot of these members needed to be affected because a lot were stolen. A lot of gatekeepers stole from people like myself that's in the business, that they came to for help, that they continue to steal from and take over our lives and paint and stage another picture to you because you don't even know what's going on. So now that these gatekeepers are exposed and exploited, and they're trying to expose and exploit us for what's not, now you understand that all of this mess, anything out there in the media was a cover-up. $1 million on the member dues you would give brought $150 million over 3 years. And it was found a proposal worthy of review consideration by, I guess, Crabtree, Ireland, found that proposal worthy. Yep, that's fact check, according to Wikipedia. Has someone wanting to help is not someone wanting to undermine. And Fran she rejected the offer, saying that it is not feasible. She instated and called the union to resume negotiations with SAG after the AMPTP to come together. October 20th, the actress SAG president, Melissa Gilbert, dismissed that message from SAG after stating that the actors should not wear Halloween costumes of characters from struck companies, and said that this is what you guys came up with. Literally, no one cares. No one cares what anyone wears for Halloween. Do you really think this is kind of infantile stuff that is going on at the end of the strike? Please tell me that you're going to make this rule go away and go negotiate. So I think I'm supposed to feel that. People are suffering mightily. This is the kind of silly bullet that it keeps us on strike. So I stand with that. A joint statement announced that negotiations would resume on October 24th, the 2023, the 21st. The full day negotiations on the 24th, initial plan meeting on the 25th of October. The next day has moved to the 26th, the next following days. Negotiated, resumed, and Crabtree, Ireland, stating that 100% focused on making the fair deal at the table. I am cautiously optimistic that this can happen. I don't really want to characterize what's been going on in the room, but, so it's like a whole bunch of stuff going on in there that I'm eager to find out about. So I think I'm going to do some digging. Where we really are focused on staying prepared focused on getting negotiations done. Individuals speculated the studios believe that if they can reach a deal in the next week with the Screen Actors Guild, which has been on strike since July 14th, because keep in mind they're in October, then no new production will be able to start in 2024, the year that we're in now, in February that I'm making this podcast. After the meeting, they announced that negotiations will continue on October 27th and the 26th. A public letter signed by thousands of high-profile actors that was sent to SAG after negotiating the committee, encouraging them to keep fighting their values rather than cave in the studios. Demanding, saying, as hard as it is, we would rather stay on strike than take a bad deal. Good for you. On October 27, 2023, negotiations, because we ain't settling for less, but we settling for the best, continue, but no deal was made. It was announced that talks would continue over the weekend, and it did. Post and everything was going wild and crazy. The Ford Studio CEO did not attend the meeting. Lamborghini attended there instead. The meeting on October 28 and was conducted virtually between SAG-AFTRA leaders, Fran Crabtree, Ireland of SAG-AFTRA, negotiating committees, the guild awaiting a response from the studios. Drum roll. So it's the plans to meet again on October 29th of 2003. So then after the intermediate communication on the 29th, the guild source deadline Hollywood that there is a feeling of optimism and it looks like we're in a final stretch. The deadline, Hollywood deadline, the paparazzi, the news, the media, also states that both sides express confidence. A deal may be reached within days. But before caution to the situation is still fluid. From understanding that SAG-AFTRA, the studios have gained significant traction on bridging the gap over what had been termed as success-based compensation. Okay, then that's transactions getting ready to be made for streaming shows and their cast. Late in the evening, SAG-AFTRA stated both parties will be working independently Monday, re-engaged on scheduling at the end of the day. The next day, Crabtree, Ireland, informed the Hollywood paparazzi and media that the weekend talks were productive and he could continue to remain cautiously optimistic about making progress. According to Deadline, the media, he said SAG-AFTRA and the unions that came together, AMPTP, are not just dotting the I's and crossing T's just yet. I wonder what the hold was about. He added that AI is currently is the focus of talks and a lot of anger, rattling why the strike took place and why I even pushed it. Because it's unfair for AI to take over human. It does not know how to be human. Okay? It only knows what to do, what you install in it with a chip. Get your life. There's still a lot to be done. Another source says, according to Hollywood Deadline fact check still, there is a lot of common ground now. We are building on that. Details have begun to determine we're heading in the right direction. That evening, SAG-AFTRA fact-checked released a statement saying they would meet again October 31st, very end of the month of 2023 last year. Talks to end early out consideration of families celebrating Halloween through intention to meet again on November 1st. So there was an interruption. They had to stop and then pick up and come back. So this is now getting ready going into Thanksgiving season. With no plans they have further meetings later in that week if need be. So in the season of Thanksgiving, November 2023 of last year, meetings continued November 1st through the 3rd. On the 4th, SAG-AFTRA led negotiations, and they stated that they received an offer today from AMPTP, the union, which had characterized the last best final offer. We're reviewing it, considering it, and our response within the context of the critical issues addressed in our proposal. On November 5th, SAG-AFTRA sent a statement to its members saying, hold up, that the negotiating team analyzed and thoroughly we discussed it. Wait a minute now. AMPTP's, the union, we counter proposal all day and well into the night, and we continue to our deliberations. Let's take that in consideration, because on that Monday, November 6th, SAG-AFTRA sent a letter to the members saying, hold up. This morning, our negotiators formally responded to AMPTP's last best final offer. Are there in several essential items on which is still to do not to have an agreement, including AI? Later that evening, Deadline Hollywood media reporter said virtual meeting ended late with the plans to continue negotiations. A studio insider told Deadline that this was a productive session. That's what I'm talking about. Standing together, working together, using some common sense. Because higher up, we ain't going for it. Some work will require real deals on November 7th. Okay? So in the Thanksgiving season, we're being thankful. Okay? SAG-AFTRA AMPTP met again. A guild source told Hollywood Deadline, the media, that they are very close and are not done yet, but very close with a strong protection language in place. However, meeting end without a deal, and with plans on continuing to talk out on November 8th. Again, continuing with the same media. So they kept and they developed trust with Deadline Hollywood, continuing to report and allow them in the studios and they heard from several sources that the guild president, Fran, the nanny, was pinched A-list stars asking about whether the deal was nigh, which means near. Also on November 7th, Tyler Perry gave an interview on CBS Morning, and I have to go look that up, was praising SAG-AFTRA lead negotiators. He also stated the work stoppage as deliberating. It's really important to know that we've won. And here's the thing, okay, because to me and Mr. Tyler Perry, we, as in me and Tyler, we have worked together. I am the creator of the old woman that you see beside Medea. Okay, not the heavy set one, not Bam, who we know and love, but Hattie Mae. This is the other 3-year deal, okay? We have working contract and deals together. I showed him a new way how to recreate what he's done. This is why he is so successful. I would like credit for that. There's nothing wrong with giving credit for those who have allowed you to teach you things. It doesn't mean that you're not winning, that you're not you. But I'm unpaid. So, see, I'm tied all up in this. It's a whole nother story, but yet the same story. So we have to continue to fight against these gatekeepers, and that I am doing. So again, to fact check, Tyler Perry was saying, we know that we have won, and what have we won for now? That this thing for now, if I ran my business trying to get everyone at once, I wouldn't be here. I've got much as I can for now. So let's see what we can do next. And that's good wisdom. Tyler Perry usually uses good wisdom. That's why we know and love him. That's why I couldn't wait to get over there by him. But because spirit take over. You know what I mean? And the audacity that he and other gatekeepers had against me to make a puppet out of me, to exploit me, to bring monstrous behavior out of me. No, that just people needed to be delivered because what I was infected, and afflicted by. And I don't like what they recorded and what they have done to me. So I had to press charges, and I'm continuing to press charges. And it's going to be bittersweet, but oh well, it is what it is. We are thrilled and proud to tell you today, your TV Theatrical Negotiation Committee voted unanimously as to be approved. So yippee, a tentative agreement with the AMPTP as midnight, 12:01 a.m. on November 9th, y'all. This is fact check. It's official. Our strike is officially suspended and all picket locations are closed. SAG-AFTRA National Board Committee then approved the agreement by a majority of 86%. Yippee. The summary of the agreement was published on November 13th to media, voting among SAG-AFTRA, whom I'm a executive investor of, advocating member throughout that whole entire thing for multiple things as theatrical recording artist, singer, writer, production, filmmaker, producer in film and music and in television and radio. Voting concluded on December 5th. The deal was approved. And with 78% support with 38.15 turnout.